The city's alive. Clock strikes 12. We're ready to dive down the street where the neon hums. Our little escape. The workday succumbs. Tables wait. The bar's got that swing. Glasses clink. Hear the ice cubes sing. Liquid lunch. Pour it smooth. Let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass. Let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch. We're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for a day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Va salut! Welcome, welcome. That camera's a little bit high, isn't it? There we go. That's a little bit better. Good to see y'all. Welcome, welcome. Yes, thank you for everyone who's already begun wishing us kind wishes for our anniversary. Full disclosure, the actual day of our anniversary is on Sunday. August 3rd is our anniversary, but today just seemed like a good day to celebrate with all of you. Obviously, I have a liquid lunch every weekday, but Thursday we've set aside specifically for being thankful, which seems an appropriate topic for this weekend for me anyway. Netter, of course, has her Thursday things, so we will be celebrating over on her channel. I'll simulcast it too later tonight. But let's get to your comments and say hi to everybody. Starting with, haven't seen you in a while, Charlotte. Good to see you. Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf. Ow! Congrats. Big hugs to both of you. Love you so much, you two. Thank you. We feel the same way. You are good people, Charlotte. You really, really are. Connie says, hail. Thank you, Connie. Welcome, welcome. Big Al says, congrats on 33 glorious years. Have a great show, my friend. Yeah, this is how many years now you've celebrated our anniversary with us, Big Al. Thanks for being here, my friend. Last call with Troy Pacelli. Hello, love of my life. I hope so after 33 years. For sure, for sure. I love you too, my dear. She says like, share, subscribe, become a member, leave a chat. Yes, absolutely. Hit that like button. So now I seem to have picked up a new troll. I am now getting an average of 2 thumbs down on every video. With no comment as to why. You know, I think that is that's probably the biggest troll. It's like, you know, it's like a mosquito, you know, biting at you. It's like, really, you can't even give me some constructive criticism, you know, even some, you know, mealy mouth criticism. I mean, any. No, just a thumbs down. I don't like you, and I come here every day to tell you I don't like you because I don't like you. What a sad life that person must have, or those 2 people must have. Naturally, I'm in a meeting for this hour. If my boss doesn't show up, I'm going to duck out early. That seems fair to me. I won't tell. Let's see. And I thought I saw, let's see. There he is. My brother from another mother. Geek Flag with Nate Knows, 1973. Hey, Troy, Netters, and the chat. Connie says, happy anniversary. Thank you, Connie, very much. Jonathan Conroy says, hail all, smash the like button and enjoy the show. Yes, please do. Please do those things. Curtis Selby says, howdy, last call with Troy Pacelli. Happy early anniversary. Thank you so much. 33 years. Congratulations. Hubby and I are 2 years behind you. Oh, yeah, I see you back there. 2 years back. Time is relative, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to catch up to us. Oh, that's right. Happy Black Tot Day. That's absolutely right. We'll maybe I should talk about that tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Thank you, Nate. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Good afternoon and happy anniversary. Last call with Troy Pacelli and Netters Network. Thank you so, so much, Jonathan Conroy. Yes, hit that thumbs up button, please. Please, please. It makes a big difference. Surprise! Technically, issues at work, so I came home early. Oh, I see. Oh, technical issues at work. Well, that's fair. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for coming by. Okay. And you guys all saying hi to each other. So glad you guys are all here. Always very encouraging to hang out with you guys. Mom and Dad celebrated their 55th anniversary last month. That's wonderful. God bless. 50 is golden, right? I think so. I don't think there's anything particularly like a special theme for the 33rd that I'm aware of. Usually it's decades, you know. Well, no, actually, because 25th, I think, is silver. 50th is gold. I think 100th is how the hell old are you? You know? Yeah, 50 is gold, if I recall. Wet plastic. That's 33 years? Okay, fair enough. And thank you. Kapla, happy anniversary, Troy and Netter. Blood wine for everyone. Bring out the 2309 vintage. Yes. 2309, depending on your frame of reference, that would be going on 100 years, right? For 24, because we're going into 2410 in Star Trek Online, aren't we? Something like that. On my parents' 56th anniversary, Mom was getting a pacemaker put in. Okay. Happy anniversary to them, I guess. Well, I mean, you look at the bright side of these things. The downside is you have to go in for a procedure. The upside is you're around to, have a procedure to correct a situation that'll keep you around. I'd say that's a good one. Yeah, 75 is platinum. That makes sense. I've always wondered why platinum is considered as if it's more valuable than gold, but unless I'm mistaken, the dollar value of gold is higher and always has been higher than platinum, I think. Are you telling me that 100th anniversary is amethyst? Is that true, Big Al? I didn't even know that they went that high. I mean, you would have to be, well, in modern United States, depending on the state, I suppose, in order to be celebrating 100th anniversary, you would have to be about 118 years old at a minimum. Okay, in some states, I think 116. Oh, what plastic was the technical issue? Actually, I thought that was kind of funny. Wet plastic for 33rd anniversary. 2309 would be approximately the year Picard was born using Okudakron. That's the only canon that I accept is those encyclopedias. Soon as they did the whole Star Trek, Star Trek JJ verse thing and changing history, I said right then and there, I said this is absolute hatred. You have these 50th anniversary technical manuals and chronologies and stuff, but you know what? You can throw all that out because, we're starting over again. So screw all of you that have been with us for the past 50 years, Oh, 33rd is amethyst. Okay. Well, that probably makes more sense. Man, do they actually get so granular as to do it by year? I never would have guessed. Hey, Charlotte. Yeah, that's wild. So there we go. So, yes, 33 years ago, I think we've told the story a number of times on our various channels and various anniversaries. If you go back in the Thursday, I think every Thursday things, Netter does an anniversary for us. I think I've done a couple on Last Call as well, kind of going through our whole crazy history. But okay. So Big Al has up there's a reference for me. So let me go ahead and open that in another tab and see what that's. Oh, geez, that's small. Gotta zoom in a little bit. Wow, it really does go by year. Like 11 years is steel. Okay, so wait a minute. Going to year one of anniversary. 1 year is traditionally paper, but in the modern day, they go, they say plastic. And it looks like, things like, what kind of a gift can you give? You can give a clock. You can give flowers, a pansy, alternate stones, gold jewelry, Okay, so there you go. 3 years is leather. That's both traditional and modern. An alternate would be crystal and glass. The flower is the fuchsia. Alternate stones is pearls and jade. Wow, this is a lot of work. I get a kick out of this. 14 is ivory, both traditional and modern. But in parentheses, it says use an elephant-friendly material. In the United States, you legally have to. It's illegal to buy any kind of elephant tusk. regardless of how it was obtained. So if we jump ahead to 33, yes, it's amethyst. And they don't even get to in detail. That's the modern thing. It doesn't say anything for traditional, and it doesn't have anything listed under jewelry and options. But 45 is sapphire, 50 is gold, and it only goes up to 80. 80 is your diamond. 80 is diamonds. Well, 80 is something to shoot for. God willing, not sure how realistic that is, but it's something to hope for, I guess. And now we can throw out the JJ verse and other new Trek garbage when Skydance takes over. You know, as so I again another little gratitude. Well, I mean, it's a big gratitude, but it's only a small mention. I made my 4th appearance on Pop Culture Breakdown last night on Overlord Doomcock's channel. And Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge jumped in and was talking about that. And while he says, yes, that is the most likely outcome, keep in mind that Skydance was the ones financing the JJ verse and that whole takeover in the first place. They were the producers, so we will see what happens with that. But it does look like, yeah, they want to get rid of Kurtzman, and they're actually willing to buy him out if necessary. Hail, ussarn. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Y'all saying hi to each other. Thought you'd enjoy this if you hadn't heard these yet together, my latest hits. Yes, so go check those out. Charlotte has dropped that link there, and if you can't click on it, you can copy and paste it. Let's see. Oh yeah, I gave her a blue wrench. She's able to drop that link, so there you go. You guys can click on that. Let's see. Troy hanging with the big boys now. I suppose so. It was fun. It was fun. Charlotte says, I adore Doomcock. Yeah. Actually, you know, Sin, what was great was how many people from our community came out and shouted me out. Nate, who is like one of the biggest producers for this channel with as much as he contributes, comes in and he's dropping super chats on Doomcock to call me out, and he's like, well, last week he says, hail Troy, and who else is here? Oh, Doomcock, hi. You know, and he dropped another one to shout me out, which, you know, indicates to Doomcock, oh, I bring Troy on, he brings people to my show, and I make money, so maybe it's worthwhile to have Troy on more often. But he also said, and you all are invited to Troy and Nanette's 33rd anniversary on Thursday thing. You know, he basically did a plug for Netter's thing with a super chat, which, you know, then Doomcock's, oh, happy anniversary, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But I saw a lot of y'all in there, you know. I saw Curtis, I saw the Horror King. Was Jonathan Conroy, were you there last night? I can't remember. JPRPH1 oftentimes shows up. But it's great to see you guys all in the chat, kind of letting them know, hey, you know, this is someone who fits in with the community, and it's potentially channel building, you know, that kind of networking, you know, like Netter's network, you know. I doubt we'll get to the Star Trek STEU for Splinter Timeline BS back. Well, in all honesty, the books never were really considered canon. And believe me, when Netter and I'm going to go right back to talking about me and Netter. When we were dating 34 years ago, right? We belonged to a local Star Trek fan club, very role-playing centered. And I was one of the game masters for the different groups. And I was the one who kind of really shepherded canon, and said, look, there's alpha canon, there's beta canon, and then there's what we're doing, And I said, you can make things up, you can draw from beta canon, but keep in mind that can be overwritten by alpha canon, which means anything you see on screen at any time. And there are a few instances where beta canon, stuff like from the role-playing game, became canonized in the main canon, sort of. Like the whole explanation for the smooth and bumpy-headed Klingons. That originally started with the fan club, not the fan club, with the role-playing games. The fan clubs took it as canon, and it became absorbed into alpha canon and canonized in that episode of Enterprise. But the books, by and large, pretty much non-canonical. I was just watching a video the other day about the EU of Star Wars and how things that they had said and assumed about what the Clone Wars were was completely wiped away by the prequel trilogy. So something to think about. A 100th anniversary is called a diamond anniversary. Actually, it's the 80th. I just looked it up. Is the diamond anniversary. So I assume that everything after 80 is a diamond anniversary. 30th or 33rd will be pearl. Okay. Traditionally, 30th might be pearl, but the reference that Big Al just gave me said amethyst for 33. But that's a modern thing, that's not a traditional thing. Or that the writers will be able to write it the same. See, this is the other thing, too. They've got to... It's fine to consider, beta canon. The books, they're non-canon. They're beta canon, whatever you want to call them. But you've got to make them available, if they're good enough stories, to incorporate into. If there's a book that's just so good and so beloved, turn it into a movie, make it canon. And if it doesn't quite fit canon, change the story just a little bit so that it does fit, and that's the version that's canon, Let's see. Unless Kurtzman tries to be like Mo Green. Don't know who that is. Sorry. I gave you a shout out, but it was drowned out by all the other comments. Oh, Sin. I'm sorry. Yeah, I miss it too. I had the chat up on the big screen, so anytime the orange, last call with Troy Pacelli came up, someone shouting me out, I generally caught it out of the corner of my eye. But when you're on the panel, you kind of want to focus, and you can't miss what's going on so that you can respond to it and whatnot. Last call with Troy Pacelli. Leia Plus Size, thank you so much for coming by. She says, afternoon, caught up again on Doomcock. Enjoy you there. Hope you keep coming back, and glad Netter got a shout out. Yeah, she did. Let's see here. Dude, I'm just doing my part for my brother from another mother and my sister from another mister. That's right. You are good people. But the books are the better continuation post-Nemesis than Kurtzman. Yes, agreed. Here's the interesting question. Let me throw this out to you, Star Trek fans. So I've postulated, as has Tom Connors and a lot of other people in the community, that with the Skydance merger happening and Kurtzman not being renewed, again, that's contingent on how well Starfleet Academy and the last seasons of Strange New Worlds go, but we know how they're going to go, so he's probably going away. What happens to the Kurtzman verse gets wiped away? That's what we're assuming. What about the movies? Are they still in play? Are they still working with J.J. Abrams or not? And if not, does that decanonize that Star Trek movie and therefore the destruction of Romulus? And Mark probably knows exactly what I'm thinking right now. How is this going to impact Star Trek Online that has been trying to follow all the canon and make it all fit? Yep. Last call, Troy Pacelli. We were in that group, Starfleet Command. Yes, you were. That's right. I was your GM in that group. That happened to Julie when the Odyssey blew up on Deep Space Nine. That affected our roleplay. That is right. I was not directly involved in the story, but I was involved in the decision of what to do with the Odyssey. And that was the danger, right? This is why we said, if you choose a ship that was mentioned in the episodes, whatever happens to that ship happens to your ship. So be careful, you know. That is a problem. So we had to do what some writers have to do, and they have to jury rig something to make things fit. Berman era often rewrote the original series, like the warp scale, the whole new scale in Fanon. Well, I don't think in canon they ever really addressed that. But it certainly was implied, and that's why the fans picked up on it. If you go from imperial to metric, it's still the same distance, it's still the same speed, you're just measuring it different. And it is assumed that that's what they did, that effectively the next gen measurements for warp were the equivalent of a metric system, since 10 was the top speed, effectively infinite speed. And the other thing too is the Okuda technical manual talks about that too. So it's a little bit more than Fanon. It is considered beta canon, but because it is that official technical manual, it is the most likely thing to become canonized, as writers would use it as a reference. And Voyager ignored most of TNG and Deep Space Nine, then Enterprise ignored Enterprise. Yeah, I suppose so. It's easier for Voyager to ignore other things because they're in a whole separate part of the galaxy, unaffected by anything else that's going on. Yes, Diane Duane's Romulan Way. What was the one about the Klingons? I forget. Let's face it. The one about the Klingons, the one where you got the Klingon and the Vulcan playing chess on the cover. That's all completely been wiped away by next gen, Klingon, alpha canon. So, yeah. Even the Klingon language. Now, the fans have tried to come up with headcanon ways to make it fit. But, it's the fans. The way the writers wrote the Tzenkethi and Breen was a lot like progressive ideology elements now, so the writers would no longer treat it as a bad thing. Well, here's the other thing, too, about the Breen and the Tsenkethy. That's another thing that Star Trek Online picked up and ran with, and may or may not fit the canon of whatever they film and work on. Isn't it just commercialism to list our gift ideas for wedding anniversaries? Yeah, I suppose it is. I don't know anyone who ever really goes with that. I think that's a Victorian thing, to be honest with you. It's all good, Troy. I know how much is going on, and I didn't expect that you would see it. It's fair. Troy, you don't remember the scene from The Godfather when Michael Corleone settles all the family business? Mo Green, you don't buy me out, I buy you out. Oh, that's right. See, I'm thinking actors. I'm thinking, directors and producers. I wasn't thinking characters from The Godfather. Good point. Abrams is in director jail. That's pretty much true. Kapla to Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Speaking of Kapla, was working on, you'll see it tonight on Thursday Things. Nate sent one of his, little speeches that I turn into a presentation using generative AI voice, and he closes it with kapla, and I had to write it out phonetically to get the AI to be able to pronounce it. But the aliens all somehow use the same new scale. I would argue they don't, any more than they always use English. I think what you're seeing or hearing is a translation. So what we're hearing in warp speed is what they're saying in, for example, whatever Romulan language and whatever, denominations of speed they have come up with. It just translates into warp speed. Just like, some universal translator might translate, 750 drachma to, $2.15 or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea what conversion rates would be. Hail to the Horror King! I was just talking about you. I saw your comment on Doomcock last night. That was really, really cool. Let's see. They never encounter an alien race that travels at 10,000 speed of light, 10,000 times the speed of light instead of warp, XX. Let's see here. I got to get caught up on the comments here. Except it doesn't translate Kelly cams to kilometers in every instance. That's true, and they're doing that for fan service. They're doing it specifically for the Klingon fans. Then Troy voices my comment without seeing it, so I'm right. Okay, there you go. All right, caught up. All right, so I've spent the whole first half of the show just talking Star Trek, which is actually very appropriate to me and Netter and our history, which I will get back to just as soon as I tell you what's coming up in the next week, as if you guys didn't already know. But I'll see you in just under 3 minutes.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
This week on Netter's Network, join us for a very special celebration of the past 33 years. It's our wedding anniversary, this Thursday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Demi Moore is Lieutenant Jordan, a topographic analyst who joins the U.S. Navy Special Warfare Group and struggles to prove her worth in a unit dominated by men. Failure is not an option for G.I. Jane. This week on Netter's Network Retro Cinema, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Papa Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
Callie is dead, a victim of Servalan's booby-trapped bequest of a planet. The Liberator has been destroyed. With Avon colder than ever, the crew must raise the will to fight on for their lives. Cue the enigmatic Dorian with an escape route off-terminal and the offer of friendship. The team needs a rescue. This Tuesday on Last Call Presents Blake 7 at 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
I like this. Netter says, it was a quick meeting and we spent the first 20 minutes talking about Pedro Pascal and how vanilla he is and how he ruined Fantastic Four. I would very much like to know how much of that was coming from you and how much of that was coming from your boss and coworkers. That would be, I would be interested to hear that. I will check my DMs when I get a chance. Yes, thank you, Horror King. So let me get back on topic. So as I was mentioning earlier on, Netter and I met effectively through Star Trek. That really is the case. I was since the last couple of years in high school, I had been very involved in the local Star Trek role-playing club. It was probably the biggest local Star Trek club in the Chicagoland area. It was called Starfleet Command. Not affiliated with the larger international Starfleet Command organization, which they kind of blew themselves up. They charged a lot of money for absolutely nothing, and I don't think they played very nice with Paramount guys. Let's face it, as a fan club, you're best to just keep your head low and not deal with the rights holders, if at all. But, oh, yes, this is, although this could eventually end up having ramifications for YouTubers as well. Right now, it's specifically about eBay and all this ridiculousness about if you make $200 or more on eBay, you gotta fill out a 1099. Apparently, Congress has decided, yeah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. Pedro Pascal's entire career is him passing as white. He gets cast in everything, usually a role that should go to someone white, because like Kevin Feige said himself, he thought the Fantastic Four was probably too white. And Pedro Pascal was Latin, but white passing. Yeah, exactly. I went on my little rant last night on Doomcock about the fact that that Marvel Disney had effectively promised us John Krasinski to be Reed, and then said, nope, you can't have him. Now, Tom put a little clarity on, was it Tom, or maybe it was maybe it was someone else on the panel who said that the reason that they didn't get John Krasinski, he turned it down when he saw what they were doing with the character. Either way, you can still blame Pedro Pascal for that, because Pedro Pascal was willing to take the role that the person who should have had the role didn't. So we got a non-fan, revering version of the character. I mentioned if the boss doesn't show up, I was going to duck out because I was 25. I had 25 POs to do. The guy said, "Oh well, we were going to talk about Marvel movies." So 90% of the conversation was me and telling them to check out that Park Place and Culture Casino. Good for you, Netter. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I love that. I thought Pedro made a career of passing as Burt Reynolds. I'm starting to hear more and more people say that, and I like Burt Reynolds. Let's not besmirch his memory. Why do all eggs break? Because they crack each other up. That's exactly right. So Netter and I were. So I was in this club, and we were actively recruiting at conventions. Remember, this was in the days of. This was before the release of Star Trek VI. So most of us were either wearing Next Gen uniforms or the Monster Maroon, tunics. I had both, and I had a full beard at the time, so I got a lot of and a full head of hair actually at the time. So I got a lot of Riker type, assumptions that was the look I was going for when. I had the beard before he did, and it was what it was. Real quick, want to say hi to Mikey Sue's 4, who just stopped by. Congrats on 33-year union, Mr. and Mrs. Troy Netter Pacelli. Yes, thank you so much, my friend. So so I was very, very involved in this club. I was a member of the staff comm and one of the game masters and whatnot, and we were at a convention doing recruiting, and saw this really hot blonde with great legs. We all called her Captain Miniskirt. Didn't have the guts to talk to her, but found out later that she had joined our club. So I did some jockeying behind the scenes to make sure that she was one of my players, so I could have interaction with her. Got to talking with her, met up with her at the next event that we were doing, which was the opening of Star Trek VI, and we really hit it off. I was shocked that this girl liked me, and I guess you could say we dated for about 6 months before we got married, but I wanted to get married sooner than later because I wanted to lock this one in. In case you hadn't noticed, I have a tendency to deal with a lot of self-doubt, and that was pretty much because that was kind of how my life trained me. I don't leave people, they leave me. Everyone I ever dated just left, started dating someone else, didn't even bother breaking up with me. And my father, started stepping out on my mother, and then he left us, and I was feeling pretty insecure, and I made that clear to Netter when we were dating, that's how I was, and it was going to take time for me to get over that. And she made it her personal mission to assure me and keep assuring me that I didn't have to be concerned about that with her. But that's why I always make the joke, every anniversary. Well, this many years and she hasn't strangled me in my sleep. And while I'm joking about that, because I know she's not a violent woman, she'd never actually do that. What I'm really saying is 33 years and she hasn't left me, like everybody else who has. Even my mother moved away to another state. Now, in fairness on that one, that was because I left her when I got married. See, I was living at home. I mentioned my father having left, so I was really involved in helping to take care of my brother, but my mother relied on me maybe a little bit more than was appropriate, and I said, look, I gotta live my life. I need to get a job. I need to date. I want to get married. When I started seeing Netter, my mother did not approve because she'd been married previously, had kids from previous marriage. This was anathema to my mother. And I said, I don't care what you think. I am marrying her. And the animosity there got so bad, I just said, I'm gone. And I moved out and literally got married to Nanette over that weekend after I left. And we got in a place on the north side of Chicago, in the city proper. And it was about 10 years before I even talked to my mom again. By then she had moved out of state, where she still lives out of state, and that directly affects my relationship. Even though, buried the hatchet and all that kind of stuff, I talk to her very rarely. I see her even less often because she's so far away. You moved away. I'm sorry. That affects our relationship, That's just how it is. So thankful for the one most important person who has never left me. Connie, I can understand the logic. Yeah. Thank you. Damn, that's cold. Don't even break up with you. Just walk away. Oh gosh, I could. That's their stories. Well, not a lot. Did I miss a comment you wanted me to bring up? Thank you. Say hi to everyone as long as you're here.
Hi, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, I gotta move this way. There
Yes.
we go. Hi.
Damn, this cold. Not even break up with you. Just walk away. Give me names. I'll go talk with them. No, I don't.
No,
even,
they
even
really
know.
weren't worth it. I've met at least one of his ex-girlfriends, and no.
And really, I'm talking about. I say that I had 3 girlfriends before Netter. Really, it was just 2. The grade school girlfriend kind of doesn't count.
You were in grade school, dear.
I know. Took her to a couple sock hops, and caught up with her on Facebook. She took a very sharp left turn. Let's put it that way. And kind of questioning which team she bats for now. Just saying. But yeah.
And I just confirmed with Deleted Scenes that on Sunday we will be on his midnight show, which now the name of it is eluding me. So you get to see more Netter and Troy.
Yeah.
I actually have the comment in there of what's all done. But
when I was in college in Hawaii, my mom wrote to tell me she had moved, but didn't give me a new address. Oh, wow, there you go. I mean, I knew where my mom was moving to, but, I did have family that lived there, and that's why she moved out there, partly. Okay, take care, Horror King. Thanks for stopping in. Lynn says, to be fair, it probably means your mom no longer has to live in. Well, yeah, there was more to it than that. She had to sell the house because of the situation with my father. my brother was severely autistic.
Okay, I can't sit on this edge anymore, so I'm going to go back to work.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
She'll be back in the chat in a little bit. And Chicago is the Illinois state laws for helping people that are caring for adult children is not great. She found better options in Ohio, and again, there was a family support there. My grandmother lived there. My uncle lived. Literally, she moved in with her mom, right? Her brother lived about a quarter mile away, and they had probably one of the best group homes in the country, not too far from there. So that's how she was able to manage caring for my brother and caring for my grandmother. Now both of them have passed. My uncle is in pretty declining health, and that does leave her kind of alone there. But I'm like, Mom, sorry, you moved there. You made the choice. If you decide to come back, that's great. She's like, well, you want to move here? I'm not moving to Ohio. If we're moving, it's probably going to be Tennessee for a lot of mostly financial reasons, and some legal reasons. You know, you got to look at the state you're moving to and say, what conditions are you looking for? Where are they on income tax? Where are they on the Second Amendment? Where are they on, a whole host of things. I said, so, if you want to get a place in Tennessee, we'll talk, but otherwise, there it is. Wow, YouTube did a weird thing on my last post. It did not put an alien face. Hi, Netter. Yeah, no, it's not YouTube that's doing it. It is EVMux. We and you'll notice, I don't think it's, if you look at your comment in YouTube, as opposed to when I bring it up, in YouTube, it's the way it is in YouTube. In EVMux, it takes, the two dots and the line and the whatever and turns it into an emoji. I can't remember who it is, but somebody drops comments with extra O's, like ooh, and that gets turned into an emoji of the of that right-wing frog meme guy. And I have no idea why, but it just does. Let's see. I want to get through the comments before we start winding it down. Suzanne and I have been together now, wedding included, for 15 years. We first met online in 2010. Yeah, when you were on with Netter, we were talking with you. You kind of told us your whole story there. That was really cool. That stream is still up, folks, if you want to go check that out on Netter's network. Troy, those skanks did you a favor. You appreciate what a great woman you have because they suck so bad. Yeah, exactly. My high school girlfriend, she was not quite a year older than me, but she was a year ahead of me in school. It has to do with her being a year ahead and me actually starting school a year late for reasons, not developmental reasons. I think my mom just wanted me to be the oldest kid in my grade so that, I'd be one of the first to be able to drive and, I'd be the big man on campus kind of thing was her thought. But it also meant then that in this case I was a year younger than my girlfriend and she had graduated before I did. She goes off to college. Everything seems fine. We're still dating, seeing each other every week because she was living at home. And then one day I stopped by to see how she's doing, and she's got some other guy over, and she's like, this is awkward. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is very awkward. Well, bye, And a very similar story, but even worse, the girl that I was dating in that Star Trek club before Netter came along, I was good friends with her brother-in-law. and her sister, and started dating her. At the time, she bore a slight resemblance to Linda Hamilton, right? You could call her Dollar Store Linda Hamilton, okay? And, club-related stuff, we were dating and stuff. And I think you guys probably get the impression of me that when it comes to my relationship with women, I'm a gentleman. Because I try to be that in all aspects of life. And so I never pushed an advantage. When I'd go to pick her up, say hi to the parents, the family loved me, all that kind of stuff. And then just one day I stopped by to see how she was doing. She's nowhere around, and her family's like, "We thought she was with you." No. And she was gone all day, and no one knew where she was, and I'm calling around, and we're going out into the neighborhood looking for her. And I'd say about 3 days later, I get a call from her sister saying, we're having a bit of a... we found her. She's back, and we're having a bit of a family meeting. I get to the family meeting, and she's gotten back with her ex-boyfriend from before she was dating me. The one that she told me used to slap her around. I'm like, oh, really? Really? If that's what you were into, I could have heaved a chair at you once in a while if you'd have said something. I'm like, eh. And her brother-in-law tells me later on, he's like, look, she's not right. She likes the bad boy. And he was doing the things that I wasn't doing because we weren't married and whatnot. And I'm like, oh. And she tells me, well, but I can see him and I can still see. And no, I'm not doing that. You made your choice. I'm done. I'm out. So yeah, Netter really helped me get over that one because it was the timing was very much a rebound situation there. But she really helped me get my head on straight. Netter, obviously. Well, I suppose the negative impact of people in my life prior helped me get my head on straight. Even my father, right? All my life, I've lived my life. What would my father do? Do the opposite. That's basically how it's always been with me. Skanks did me a favor. Absolutely, they did. Started kindergarten at 4, so I was freshman in high school at 13. Yeah, so I actually took 2 years of preschool before going into kindergarten. And the reason that I did that was because that was my mom's choice. And again, she wanted me to be the first one in my freshman year who could get his driver's license, which, would have meant I was the guy driving people around and stuff like that. That tends to have an impact on your popularity. These were things my mom was thinking about when I was a baby, literally. So, yeah. So that is why I am so thankful. All the bullets that I dodged because of Netter, and how she's really shielded me since then. I would not trade the last 33 years for anything. People always ask, if you had to do over, what would you do differently? Pretty much nothing. I've often said maybe I would have dealt with my mother a little bit differently, but ultimately, nothing of real significance would be changed. Mikey had 2 bad marriages. Suze went through 4 of them before we hooked up. Sometimes when you got the baggage and it's the a baggage that you kind of both relate on, you guys can be a support to each other. My biggest issue was when we moved. New school was effectively a year ahead of the old school from first grade, so I had to jump a year of learning in February Fortunately, I was ahead in reading. Well, there you go. There you go. There was a couple times in grade school where I could have moved ahead a grade, and my mom specifically said no, because it's like the whole reason that he is the age he is and where he's at was that, what we would have done different is move out of Illinois instead of to the suburbs. Yeah, that was probably, hindsight's 2020. We knew that we had to get out of the city. So I said we moved into the north side of the city, and whenever we'd move, progressively farther north. And we're about as far north as we could move and still be in the city. And we'd been living in apartments all this time. And I said, look, we need, I was getting sick and tired of the, living on the second floor, carrying your groceries up and down stairs and going to laundromats and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm done with this. I said, the next time we move, we're moving into a house. So when our building decided to go condo, we said, we're moving into a house. And we started looking at places, and we stayed in Cook County. We should have gotten out of Cook County. I said we had to move to the burbs because we had to get out of the city. Well, we got out of the city. We should have gotten out of the county, and we really, really should have gotten out of the state. Did not do the research we should have done. It's harder once you buy a house because then you have the mortgage. There's all of that. Don't even get into the finances of that. As you settle in, you start to accumulate stuff because you've got space. And if we're going to move, we would have to liquidate about half of the stuff we have in this house. So that's something to look forward to in the coming years. Only regret it shouldn't met each other sooner. Yeah, I feel the same way. The state of Chicago and its ancillary areas. Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of true. Left my second X there. Yeah, hear ya. Greg's family lived in Grays Lake. I know exactly where Grays Lake is. I had a similar situation with my first girlfriend in high school. I have this guy come up to me wanting to fight me over this girl I've been dating. She was cheating on him with you. Yikes. And didn't know. That's the kind of situation where you go, doesn't have to be a fight, bro. You want her, you got her. You mean Crook County? Yes, exactly. In the Socialist Republic of Illinois. That's absolutely true. John Doe Juggalo getting in just under the wire. Moving sucks. I'll be handing it all to the kids, and me and the wife will jump in our RV and go camp the rest of our days. That's a wonderful plan. We got no kids to unload everything on, and after the very sad recent passing of our friend Evelyn, and seeing how she had not prepared to deal with the distribution of her memorabilia, I got to start thinking about that myself and how to apportion out my collections, my Klingon memorabilia, my other Star Trek memorabilia, the Star Wars toys, and so forth. Troy, when people ask me that question, if you had to do over again, what would you do differently? I always say, meet my wife sooner. See, Netter and I have talked about that somewhat in jest, because there comes a point. Remember, Netter was married before, so the what if would be, well, what if, before she got married we met? Well, if that had happened, I wouldn't have been legal. So that would have been a pretty awkward meeting. Probably would not have worked out. So I say we just be happy with the way things are and not let the butterfly effect ruin it. But there you go. That is, my hope is to live here the rest of my life, avoid another move. It took months just moving everything in here, and I've not fully got everything organized after 25 years. Yeah. That's kind of funny because some of the Star Wars toys that I moved into this house have not even been opened since we moved in. And now that I'm at a point where I can start doing stuff with them, I don't have the room to display them. So we seem to meet the people we're supposed to at the right time. We were the same people. I think he meant to say we weren't the same people in the past. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. You start thinking like, what if you could go back in time, but not so much physically? Kind of like Quantum Leap. Send your mind back to your younger self. So knowing what you know now, that's usually the more interesting way to do it. Then you can make all your money on the stocks, right? I love that bit from the movie Frequency. Now I'm gonna give you a little hint, buddy. I'm gonna give you a magic word. I want you to write it down and remember it because it's gonna change your life. Yahoo. And his buddy buys stock in Yahoo and becomes a millionaire. So there you go, my friends. That's just a little taste of why I'm so thankful. And we will get more into that tonight on Netters Network at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. I hope every single one of you can stop in and wish us a happy anniversary tonight. And of course, tomorrow night, last call, we'll be talking AI. I just shot some articles to Aged Boomer, and I'm already thinking about what we're going to talk about a week from tomorrow on last call. I'll have a hint up here tonight. You'll kind of get a hint about what we'll be talking about in the future. Lynn is going to try to stop by. Thank you so much, Lynn. So that is that. I'm going to let you. I've already kept you guys too late. You guys got to get back to work. Hope to see you tonight. You guys take care. Salute.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
Here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.